Again, hi everyone, welcome back. And today we'll get to another interesting topic about dynamic XPaths. And yesterday we have developed some tests for the Amazon site. That's good, but there are something that we keep doing it, right? So let's say we're doing a lot of clicking operation. So we are doing a lot of clicking operation, and for every operation we are also doing some weights as well, right? So is there any way that we could optimize this, right? For example, if you notice, we are doing a lot of add operation, and what we did, we have actually extracted them into a separate method, and then we have reused them, right? So that's the best way out, so that you don't have to write same lines of code every time, right? So the same way here we are, clicking on these elements. The only thing that is common, that is, we are doing click on all these things. Okay, so and in a real website we might need to do a lot of clicking, right? So for every time you cannot do all this drive dot find, keep writing the same thing again and again. Instead, you can also create a method, static void click, right? So click is the method that I'm going to create. And just a minute. Yes, please switch off your videos. Videos. Yeah, I'm going to create a method called as click. So if I want to create a method called as click, so I'm just trying to write driver dot find elements. So why this is throwing error, right? This is an important question, right? For example, if you notice the driver, whatever we have written here, maybe for time being, I'll remove all these things, right? So that we can view all of them in one screen. Okay. Or maybe I'll do a comment. So I'll do Control Z. I'll comment it out so that you know I'll comment and minimize like this. Okay, so that we can able to see all of these in one screen, right? Good. So now so I want to create a method called as click, right? Previously, when I type driver here, it's not throwing any error, right? It's listing me all the options, right? But when I write driver here, no, this is not throwing anything, right? So it's still throwing error. It could not identify what a driver is, right? So if you notice, we have defined driver here, right? And the scope of this scope means it is only valid, or it can be only used within this method itself. Okay, we call this as local variable. Okay, so what we call this as local variable. So whatever the variable that is present inside a method is local variable. So you can imagine, like, he's a local rock, right? So local rowdy. So he has only uh, powers within his own area, right? That's what it is. So this driver has powers only within this green blocks of code, right? So apart from that, you cannot access that or use it anywhere across. So this is called as a local variable, and it presents inside a method, right? So, and the scope is also limited. Scope is within the method. So yeah, but I want to use this here, right? I want to use this here. So what is the thing that I can do, right? Either I can give this as a global scope. Okay, I can give this as a global scope, or I can pass this to this method, correct? So what I can do, this click method, if I have to type driver dot find element, okay, and I want to pass by dot xpath or whatever I want to type like this, and I want to press click, right? For this, I want either by type, or I want the string type and the web driver. So what are all the parameters that I need? I need a web driver. So if you want to add two numbers, you want two numbers, right? The same way, I want to click on a web element. So first we want the web driver, and then the web element. Yeah, that's it. Or this is like by type, right? So let's see. I'll tell you, okay, what this is. So now if this main method is passing me these two things, okay, then I can directly type. So now I have something called as driver here also. Okay. So this driver, the scope is within this two curly braces. Okay. These two curly braces. So I can type driver dot. Now this is populating me with find element. Okay. Find element. Okay. Inside find element, we need to pass the byte type. Okay. So that byte type is here. So byte dot click. That's it. So now we have created a reusable component that can be click. So now how we can use this? Let's say I instead of these two lines of code, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm creating a byte type, or we have already created a byte type here. So by mobile by, right, we have already created. So instead of you calling driver.find elements, putting all these things, see, we have done driver.find element and we pass the byte type and then we clicked. So here the template is same. So if you notice, this template is same as this. Okay. So this is just the name is different. Okay. The variable name is different. So you can call it as a A, you can call it as a B, whatever you want. So we have already created a reusable template. So what I can do, instead of I'm calling this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call the reusable method called as click. Okay. Click. And it is asking me, pass me the driver. Okay. I will pass you the driver. And come on. Now it is asking me what is the byte type that you want to pass. So I already have a byte type of mobiles and computers. So I'm telling mobiles and computers. Okay. Now what will happen? So we are constructing the byte type and we are giving this work to somebody else. Imagine you are a test lead. You are giving this work to this click method that will do the clicking for you. Okay. Good. This next we have something called as web element type, right? So next we have static. We'll create one more reusable method for same thing, click. But this time you don't need anything, just pass the web element. Okay. If you want to click on it, so this whole thing is web element, right? Driver dot find element. This whole thing is web element. Okay. So if somebody is passing this web element, you can directly call click. So what I'm doing, if somebody is passing me web element and some element, what I will do, whatever the element they pass, I'll just do clicking on it. Okay. Or you can add your stuff that you want to do. Suppose I want to tell thread or sleep 5000 seconds or 2000 seconds, sorry, 2000 milliseconds, and you can hover your mouse and add exception, right? The same way here also, for before doing each click, I want to wait for 2 seconds and then uh, I have to click on that particular element, right? So now if you want to click on this laptops, you don't have to worry about it. Instead, you call the click method, okay, and you pass the web element. So what is the web element name? Laptop web element. So just pass this. This guy will take care of clicking it. Okay. So first time it will call this. So there are two click methods. So but it will try to distinguish with the help of number of parameters. So the number of parameters is 2 here. Here also it is 2. So it will call this. So it will come. It will wait for 2 seconds, and then it will try to click on it. Next, we have already identified the elements. Now I am trying to click on this element. So I am doing thread.sleep and I am clicking on it. Right? Good. So this is the way. Now if you have something like a string type, okay, you are having a string type. So what are all things you need? So I'll create one more reusable type. That is one more reusable method, static void click. So I need the web driver. Okay. And then you pass the string locator, okay, locator value, because this is the locator value, right? We need this to click. Okay. And also we need whether it is id or xpath. So because here we are using by.id, somewhere we are using by.xpath. So we also want to know whether it is an id or it's an xpath or it's a name or class name, how we want to find it. Okay. So you can also add here or add later string locator type. Okay. I'm using locator type because it can be your xpath, your ID or name or class name, whatever. Okay. You need all these things to find this element. Okay. How we are going to find? So driver dot find elements. Okay, what are the locator type? Okay, suppose if they are passing Xpath, then I need to use by dot Xpath. Oh, okay, I need to use like this. If they are passing ID, I need to use by dot ID. So what is the only way we have to use? We have to write if condition. So if locator type, okay, dot equals ignore case. If it is equal to Xpath, then I have to find my element using driver dot find element by dot Xpath. Okay, and what is the Xpath value? That is the locator value. Okay, dot click. Okay, without performing everything, we can also wait. Before doing all these things, we can wait. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, good. The same way, else if locator type dot equals ignore case. If it is ID, okay, then we want to find driver dot find elements by dot ID, right? Sorry, it is ID. If they are telling, hey, you have to find the element using ID, then we will find the element using ID, and then we will use locator value dot click. Same way you can write for other things. Okay, else if, okay, locator type dot equals ignore case. If they are telling class name or link text, okay, if they want to find by link text, then we'll do driver dot find elements by dot link text. Okay, the same way you can write for everything. Okay, locator value. I'm not going to write for everything, but you can write. Okay, dot click. Okay, same way you'll put a different else if, and then you write it for all the locators. Okay, but for now I am just stopping at this particular point of time. Okay, now you have a string locator. So now instead of writing like this, you have to call click method. Okay, and then you have to pass driver, and then you need to tell what is the locator type. My locator type is this is Xpath. Sorry, guys, please go on mute. Xpath, okay, and inside Xpath, what is the value that you want to click? Okay, so the value is hamburger menu, right? Okay, so yeah, so instead of you writing something like this, okay, you delegating this work to this click method. So it'll try to find whatever you passing in the second variable. So I'm checking whether this is equal to Xpath. If it is equal to Xpath, it will try to find the element using Xpath and it will click on it. Okay, good. So this is how you can code, and you can also extend this code to other things as well. So here we are using click, right? So you can also directly call them, right? So instead of you typing Apple click and all that, what you can do click, okay, and you can directly pass the web element or you can directly pass the byte. So for now, I'm just passing the byte type. So click, and first what I need to pass the driver and the byte type, right? That's it. So you don't need to mention this. The same way you can replace all these things and then call this click method or this click method or this click method based upon your requirement. Okay, if you want to use it as a web element, you can pass like this. Want to use by, you can pass like this. If you want to pass like this, you know, with the help of string locators, you can use this. So the advantage of each type, if you are using as a web element, you are not doing a lot of things here. Okay, you can directly tell element dot click, element dot send keys and all that. But the problem here is, you cannot use dynamic XPaths. Okay, so I'll just take a break and then I'll ask if you have any questions with how we have created this methods, any doubts in this before we proceed to dynamic XPaths and understand what is the advantage of using dynamic XPaths. Is any doubts?
Hey, Amutan.
Yeah.
So let's say if we, as you told, right, the driver scope is within the main method as of now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So, so if we let's say if we define this, I mean, this driver, what we can say, like, can you just scroll up?
yeah.
Yes. If we, I mean, initialize this variable
Mhm.
before this main method, so will
Yeah.
that way also work?
Yes, yes, it will work. So, so for now, as I told, the scope is within the method, right? So the driver is within the method. So that's why we are passing the scope to another method in form of parameters. But imagine we'll come to this global scope now, where you are mentioning. I'm just cutting this. I'm pasting it here, and this is okay. I have something like this, and here I'm just doing the initialization. Okay. So what is this? What have you done, number? See, nothing I have done. So you have a class. Okay, imagine you have a class. Okay, I'll put it in a diagram. So you have a class. Okay, and this class is also having small methods. Okay, let's assume this is method one, this is method two, this is method three, and all that. So if you define some variable a here, okay, in inside the class, which means this a variable a can be accessed in this method, in this method, in this method, or anywhere. Okay, so this is called as global scope, which means you know the a can be used everywhere. So now here there is also a need where if I can make this as a global scope. Okay, what I did, I have just declared this here. Okay, it's more like, so we understood here, right? So we can write int a equal to 5 directly here. Okay, or we can mention int a and then a equal to 5 at the later point of time. The same way, what I have done, you know instead of int a here and then a equal to 5 here, I mentioned int a here, int a. Okay, so I called it static because I want to access from static method. So once you declare a equal, there I'm initializing the value here, a equal to 5, which means, okay, so it was by default 0 because it is an integer type, so it will be by default 0. And now here I am mentioning a equal to 5. Now this a can be used in this method, in this method, in this method, in this method, everywhere, because this guy is global scope. He's a little bigger rowdy. Okay, he has powers all over a particular area, right? So this particular class, he has the powers. Same way here, I have made this as a global scope, which means, see, all these things are in orange color. Okay, which means whenever I'm using this, you'll get an orange color, right? And here the color is different because it is trying to use this. So now what I can do, since we have given global scope, can remove this. Okay, we don't need this at all. Okay, can remove this. Here it does not have WebDriver, so we can avoid that. So now, so we are previously passing driver, we don't have to pass that anymore. Okay, now everything will absolutely work fine. Okay, now it can see, if you notice, this is also becoming orange color. Okay, so this is now having global scope. You are using this particular variable here in this method, in this method, in this method, and everywhere inside this class. Okay, so that's the power of global variables. So your doubt has also helped me to answer what is a global variable. Okay, which means this is present, okay, outside the method. Okay, actually this is a global static variable. Okay, whatever we have covered is global static variable. I will cover what is uh, a global, just global variable. But for now you can assume both are same. The only difference is they have static in before. If you write like this, they don't have static in before. Okay, that's it, that's the only difference. But for now we are not yet covered the static and non-static part. So yeah, so it's a global static variable present outside the method, and the scope is within the class. Okay, scope is within the class. You can use it across all the methods in the class. Okay, it has global scope. Good. It can be also accessed from other classes also. We'll come to that later, but for now, this is fine. Good. So yeah, now we have understood all these things, right? So now we'll try to understand why we need to use string as a locator type, okay? Or we want to use a byte type, okay? The reason being, strings are very powerful, okay? You can replace strings, you can play around with strings, okay? For example, let me create a new test now, okay? Okay, here again, um, let's assume I have something called a string a equal to testing many bytes, okay? So what I want to do, if I want to find the length of this, okay, what I can do is we have already seen this, right? So a dot length, right? And if you also want to find, you know, only print, right, the mini, or I want to print from the third letter to the end, okay, then what I can do, uh, uh, a dot, okay, substring, okay. I want to, create a small string from the big string. Okay, I want to create a small word from this big word. Okay, so there is a method called substring. So there they are asking begin index. Pass me the begin index. So which means this is a zeroth index. This is the second index. So if I pass two, okay, if I pass two, substring of two. So it will. This is a start index. So it will start from here and then it will end. So yeah, we'll see what it is. Again, what else we have? We have a lot of operations we can do. Okay, but what I want to do, I want to replace something. Okay, I want to replace all the t here with a, all the t with a. Okay, replace all. I want to replace all the t, the small t's, or the with a. Okay, and what else we want to do? There are a lot of methods, guys. You can use all these things. Okay, and then suppose I want to print all of them in small letters because there is a capital letter here, capital letter in the M, capital letter in the B. The same way, you can also write all of things in the uppercase. Okay, so which means two uppercase means it will convert all of them into capital letters. Okay, and what else we could do with this? And these are some of the things. Okay, so suppose you want to get what is the character at this particular index. Okay, let's say I want to print what is the character at the first index. Okay, what is the first letter? So I can put character at 0th index. Okay, and so these are all methods. Okay, the name itself is telling what it is doing. So it is replacing all t with capital A. It is trying to find the substring of that is starting from 2. So the substring that is starting from 2 is this much. So from S it will start till S, right? And there is also, you can write like a substring that is starting from, let's say I want to print only this. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this is the eighth one, I think. Okay, let's put 8 to, I mean it's 12, right? So 8 to 12. So let's see what's printing. Okay, let's remove this. Let's work it till here. Okay, so this is how basically you can play around with the words. Okay, this is very important. So if you notice, length is 18, and I want to print the substring from 2, which means it will print from S to S. Yes, correct. And I also want to print the substring from 8th letter, starting from 8th and ending with 12. So it's printing mini, right? And what I have done, I have replacing all the the small t's with a, right? So if you notice, the t's here after t s t is now replaced with a, right? The bytes also t is replaced with a, right? The lower case is correct. It is printing all of them in uppercase. What is the character at the 0th index? This is the t. Now everything is actually getting printed correctly. So this is the power of using strings, right? With the strings, you can play around with it. So if you type a dot, you will see a lot of things. Okay. If you want to compare with another string, you can use equals ignore case, which we have already seen. If you want to compare without ignoring the case, then you can use equals, right? The same way, there are a lot of things. Suppose you want to check whether a string is starting with a particular value. For example, I want to find out a dot starts with whether it is starting with testing. I want to find. Okay. Okay. Let's see what it's doing. So it's starting with testing. That's the reason it's printing true. Okay. And yeah, the same way you can play around. But for now, why I have done this is I want to show you guys what is this replace all. Okay. Suppose I'm also want to replace only one value. Okay. So suppose I want to replace only, so here replace all means it will replace all the small t's. Okay. But if I want to replace only one, only first t, okay, then you can use just a t, or there is replace first, which will just replace only one. So for now, I'm just using replace, and I'm trying to replace testing. I'm trying to replace testing with development. So what it will do, instead of testing many bytes, it has to print development many bytes. Okay, let's see. So it's replacing development bytes. The reason why I have covered this is because we want to construct a dynamic XPath using this replace. Okay, at that time it will be really useful for us. Okay, good. Any doubts in this so far before we head on to write our dynamic XPaths? Any doubts? Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
sir.
Okay, good. So guys, strings are very, very important. Okay, you just, these are all very simple words. Okay, to easily you can go and understand. Okay, try to play around with them. Take a string like string many bytes or very long string with like your name or something, and then you try to use all these methods and see what is character at 0 giving, character at 10 giving. Okay, you try to understand what these methods are doing. Okay, it's impossible for me to cover all these methods. Okay, for now, let's go back to the Amazon and understand. So if you notice a strange thing here. Okay, let me pick all these important things. Okay, let's open Notepad. This is the first one, and this is the second one that I want to showcase, and this is the third one. Okay, and there is also one more thing like this, Apple. Right. So guys, if you notice, all of them are having almost same syntax. Okay, so let me replace this A with star, because if I even replace with star, it will work, right? Okay, just for our star, this is also star. Okay, now if you notice, there is almost some similarities. What is the similarity? So everything is having the same syntax. We are using text to find all of them, and we are also using equals, which means we are not using contains or starts with. So the XPath or the string XPath is almost common. The only thing that is getting changed is the text here, right? So instead of this, what if I have a template like, okay, text equal to some value. What is the value that we can give some test value? So we are testing, right? So I'll give some value like this. So now I'll have some string like this. Okay, let's go back to the string test that we are working. And here, let me have a string. This is the XPath. Maybe this is the old XPath. Okay, this is the XPath, right? Now I want to replace this value with Apple. Okay, S out old XPath, right? Old XPath dot replace. I want to replace what I want to replace. I want to replace this test, right? I want to replace this with test with Apple. Okay. If I replace this with Apple, let's try to run it and see what's happening. So if you notice, it's giving me this XPath, correct? Now if I copy this, go here, and I'll try to place this here. So we can construct this particular same XPath. Okay. Okay, using replacing it, right? we are not writing it. Okay, we are just replacing. The same way I can construct all these XPaths. Okay, so old XPath that replace the test with the next value that we have is laptops, right? So laptops. Okay, the same way we can construct all these XPaths. So we will have only one string. Okay, previously we have multiple strings, right? Previously, if you want to use four values, we are having four variables, which means we are occupying four spaces. Instead, now we'll have only one variable. We will replace them on the fly. Okay, we will replace the dummy text on the fly with the whatever the value we want, and we will create our own XPath. So now this is our own XPath. So this is a new XPath that we actually need. Okay, for our testing, right? So this is what we're going to use. So let's go here and so let me create one string variable. Okay, let me create a one string variable. Let's create it here. Static string. Uh, this is the XPath. Maybe old XPath like we already have. Okay, here instead of this we'll have test. Okay, so now we have this. So instead of suppose I want to write and I want to click on this Apple. I want to click on this laptops. Okay, instead of you writing all these things here, what I'm going to do. Okay, first I'll construct a new XPath. String new XPath equal to old XPath that I already have dot replace. I want to replace that test with Apple, right? So we want to click on Apple. So Apple. Okay. So this is a new XPath. Now you have a new string, correct? And here you can just call click. And what is the locator type? So locator type is basically XPath and the value is new XPath. Okay. Now I want to click on this. Okay. So again, string new, let's say this is sort by. Okay, new sort by or sort by something. You can mention whatever the name you want. Okay, old XPath dot replace. Okay, test comma, and I want to replace that with this particular value. Okay, that's it. Once you are done with this, you don't have to write this code. We already have a reusable method called click, where I'm going to tell it is of XPath, and I'm going to pass the value as sort by. Okay, good. This is also done. So we don't need this anymore. The same way, you can also replace this, right? So this is the advantage of using string locators. String locators, you have the freedom to replace. So you can replace whatever the values you want with the new value. Okay, if there is similarities in your application, for example, okay, let's go to the Amazon.in, which we took all these elements you see here. Okay, previously you would have to write all these things separately. Okay, if you go to inspect, okay, they all have same thing. They are all having a tag with the text equal to bestseller. Let's try to inspect new releases. This is having a tag with the text equal to new releases, which means in a website, instead of writing, so let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 9 and then 14, and then we have 30 elements here, okay, in this particular menu itself. But all of these can be written in one single XPath. Okay, so you can write one single XPath for this. The XPath is, okay, instead of a text equal to, okay, you can write like this, and then you can replace with best sellers. So if I just instead of that, if I replace with best sellers, it is going to find that element for me, right? So that's the beauty about using dynamic XPaths, right? Okay, good. So yeah, so this is the ultimate beauty about using XPath. The same way, if we go to the next page, okay, if we go to the next page like mobiles and computers, these are also having a same template. This is also having a, so this is also having text is equal to all mobile phones. So you can use only one string to manage, okay, you can manage almost all these components with the help of just one single XPath. So that's the beauty about using dynamic XPaths. Good. So now you understood what is dynamic XPaths. Dynamic XPaths means you don't have a fixed value. You will construct the XPath. So you'll have a static template, and at the runtime, you will replace this with another value, and then you will construct your XPath. So that's called as dynamic XPaths. Okay, good. Now, as many people are asking, hey, Amudan, I want to see your code, share it with us. Okay. The same thing can also happen in real world. Okay. You might be working in some functionality, your fellow developer is also working in some functionality. You don't have, you both have to collaborate your tools. Okay. So how will you do that? Okay. For now, Manish is asking, please share your code. How will I share it? So the first way that we could think about is, these are all just a folder structure, right? So, okay, I can go to my Explorer, so where this project is located. This is my first Java project. I can go here. I'll right click. I'll compress this zip folder, and then I'll send it to Manish. But while sending to Manish, I also noticed that it has to also work in his machine. And if it also has to work in his machine, if you notice the webdriver.chrome.driver, the chrome-driver.exe file is actually in my machine. Okay. So if he unzips my code and then run in his machine, he won't have this chrome-driver.exe. So it will not execute. Okay. And most importantly, he don't have the same folder structure. C users, test, OneDrive, documents. Okay. There is no such folder structure in his machine, and he doesn't also have chrome-driver.exe. So it is my responsibility that the whole code also has to run in his machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zip this folder. Okay, correct. I'm going to zip the contents of my first Java project. So what if I keep my all the things that are needed to run this project within this folder structure itself? Yeah. So what I can do, I go to this documents and Chrome driver. So documents, Chrome and Chrome driver. I'll copy this. I'll copy this, and you go back to the folder that you are working with. Okay, let's go here. So this is a folder that I'm working. So you can just paste it here. Okay. So I can paste it here. You can also paste it in the file explorer. That's not a problem. You can also place it in IntelliJ. So yeah, either you can right click and paste it here, or you can go to this particular open in Explorer. Okay, you can go inside this and then you can paste it here. Okay, now the Chrome driver is inside this. So if I zip this project, he will have this Chrome driver also, correct? Correct. So now we have changed the location of our Chrome driver, but we have not changed the location in the code. So now previously it was inside this particular thing, but now it is inside this particular folder. C Selenium test. Okay. So let me go and copy this path. Okay. So this is the path it is now located. Again, as I told, if it has to work in Linux, Windows, Mac, everything, you have to replace this with, it's because he might be using Linux also. Okay. So I have to be very careful. Okay. Good. So inside this, I have something called as Chrome driver.exe. But again, for Linux and Macs, we have different executables. We'll come to that later. But for now, I'll give like this. Okay. Now this will work in my machine. Okay. But in his machine, again, what he has to do, he has to keep this my first Java project inside this particular location. C users test. But this is not possible, right? In his side. So it has to work in whatever the folder he unzips this particular project, what I'm shipping to him. So what I can do. So there is a way in which you can find the current project location in Java. Okay, let's go to this particular thing. So because this is very simple for now. So here you can mention, so there is something called a system dot get property. Okay, and then you just mention user dot dir. Okay, so what this means? This means it will try to find the current working directory. Okay, this is the current, it will help you to find current working directory. Okay, which means here it will try to find my first Java project. Okay, the location that is C users testy Selenium project, my first. Let's see whether it is printing that. So if you notice, this is printing exactly what we need, correct? C users testy Selenium project, my first Java project. So you can find the project location using code. It's not that you have to go and manually do it. So whatever the folder location he places my file, it will work. Okay, so let's go and replace this code. So instead of this, okay, I don't have to, because this has already been found by another thing. Okay, so let's me system dot get property user dot there is basically giving me what it is giving me, current working directory, current working directory. Okay, here I don't have to mention this. Okay. So here I can simply mention current working directory plus. Again, guys, I told the plus means, so what will happen? This is there. Okay, in the notepad I'll put it. So you have a string like this. You are adding one more string. What is that string? The string is basically chrome driver.exe. You are trying to add this. You already know what is the result for this, right? If you try to add this, you will get the answer as let's try to see whether this is working, right? This is in the root directory. It will try to find this, right? Again, guys, you don't have to worry about the single slashes here, because it can automatically understand on what operating system you are running this, and then it can make it make use of that. Okay, so you don't, if you are using system dot get property user dot there, you don't have to worry about the slashes that it is getting displayed. Okay, so now let me try to run this, whether to see whether it is first working in my machine. Okay, it is working. So if the Chrome driver is only found, then only it will launch the website and load the URL. Okay, good. Now there was some issue here in the hamburger menu and all that. So if you notice, it could not find hamburger menu and all that. That's fine, because it is actually by using ID. Okay, so let's try to run it and check whether it is working. For everything, it will wait for 2 seconds, right? So yeah, it is actually working. Right? And maybe it's not clicking here, that's fine, but there may be some problems or some weight issues, but that's okay. But for now, so there is a spelling mistake, it seems. So we are telling Xpath and then sort by. Okay, we have to give sort by the variable. Okay, so yeah, now this will work. So all we have to understand is, now this thing will work in his machine. What the last step? Okay, we are shipping the Chrome driver, we are keeping everything, but we also need to ship the Selenium standalone jar which we are using, because in his machine he would only have Java, right? If he creates a Java project, import Java project, he will only have the Java library. He will not have the Selenium library. So he has to go. He don't know, whether this is a what sort of standalone jar that I'm using. He has to go and manually download it. He might make mistake in that. So it is my responsibility that I also needs to ship this jar file also with him. So what I can do, I'll go to this folder which I'm going to zip. I'll do right click, new, and then I'll create a new folder called as lib. Okay, so that is a new library folder that I created. And here I will place the Selenium standalone jar. So I'll go to the downloads that I know I might be having this in the downloads. Yeah. So I'll copy this. I'll go back again. So I'll paste it here. Okay. I'll paste it here. Good. Now what we can do, he don't have to search anywhere on the online. Suppose if you are using 100 jar files also, you put everything here. He will go ahead and download this or add this to the path, he will go here, he'll go to the project structure, he will go to the dependencies, he will go to add, and then he will choose the folder where this lib is located, and then he will add it to the path. So that we are also making his life easy. Okay, so the same code will also work in his machine. So that's the important thing. Again, the chrome driver.exe, why we are shipping this is because not only because of the path, because you may also have different version of chrome. Okay, now if you notice, the chrome version that I have here is 96. Okay, if his machine is having 92, then this code will not work. What he has to do, he has to go ahead and remove this chrome driver.exe and add a chrome driver.exe that is for 92 version, that suppose 92 version of chrome. So there is one more problem that it has. So we will replace all these issues. We'll fix all these issues. The first problem is the chrome version is the problem. Second problem is we need to add all the libraries manually, and then now I have to go ahead and then zip them up. Okay, now I'll go ahead and I'll open an explorer again. I'll write to right click, and then I'll add to right. Instead of sound zip, maybe I'll do a normal compressing so that you don't have to rely on that software to unzip. So now I have unzip, zip this. Now I can put it in some drive or send to him in email. Now again he has to unzip it. He has to edit some code, and then again he has to zip all of them. Again he has to send it back. This doesn't look like a good approach, right? We'll see what is a good approach in the next classes. But for now, I'll just upload this into the Google Drive, and then I'll share you the link so that you can unzip. Then you can try to run this code in your machine as well. So that's all for today. If you have any other doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, I have some assignments for you. Any doubts?
Hi, Amitan. This
Yeah.
Chrome driver.exe,
Yeah.
now we are calling from user.directory, right? If the code we are pulling from a Git or somewhere, source code management tool, and if it is in Jenkins or somewhere, does this work?
Yeah.
User.exe.
Yeah. Because it's in the folder itself, right? Even in the
Okay.
Git, you will download the entire folder. This my first Java project. The whole folder you will download. Inside the folder only the Chrome driver.exe is there. Okay.
Okay. From Jenkins also it will work.
Yeah, it will work. So you are scaring the other peoples around here. Don't worry, it will work. Okay, don't worry. Okay, it will work.
Okay. Yeah, I tried something, it was not working. I think maybe this is the issue. Sorry.
No, it will work. If your Jenkins is a Linux machine, again you need to be worried about
Yeah.
your black
I
slashes.
think,
So
yeah,
just
it's a
think about
Linux
yeah,
machine.
yeah. So
Maybe.
yeah, we'll come to that later, guys. Don't worry about this for now. I will learn all those things. We are gonna learn about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, Anything else from anyone else?
So yeah, Amutin, I asked the question in the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Can I share my screen quickly, or after this I can
No,
share?
let me stop the recording.